I want to start this video off by stating this video is primarily to rant and complain, so be warned, probably not any beneficial information ahead. So it's summer and we're all ready to dive into our favorite consoles and play some games we were looking forward to for so long, right? Well, maybe. It depends on what console you play on, probably. There's The Quarry, a new narrative, choice-driven horror game similar to Until Dawn. Fall Guys will soon be free to play on all systems. And on Switch you have Mario Strikers Battle League, that thought not having Daisy in the game was a well-made decision. And recently with Summer Games Fest, I was excited to see and hear of new games I could be interested in, especially regarding that Marvel Midnight Suns game that was announced almost a whole year ago, coming to all systems. And with that recent trailer, we got a bit of a story shown to us, new characters like Spider-Man, and a release date. But something was weird with this trailer, and that was the fact that the Switch was not listed among the others for the release. After some research, I hear the infamous line when it comes to Switch versions of video games, which is, Switch version coming at a later date. And I don't know about any of you, but I am so tired of the Switch getting slacked on, in my words, of when it comes to joining its on release date for a majority of games, if that makes sense, because I don't know how to word stuff. So you might be wondering why, or just thinking to yourself that it's the Switch, it doesn't come close to the power of PCs, PlayStations, and Xboxes. And you're right, I won't deny that, considering a few weeks ago I was playing Fortnite on my Switch with my dad, who played on his tablet, who was trying to get a feel of the game. And I kid you not, my Switch lagged harder as I was just dropping into the zone at the start of the game than it did when I eventually switched to my phone. Now, also, mind you, I do have a Galaxy S20, not sponsored, and this phone released 3 years after the Switch, so but that's just for comparison. The main reason why I want to be talking about this lack of care for the Switch is because I think it ties into these stereotypes with the Switch, and I wasn't sure the exact word to use, but basically how everyone considers the Switch a kid and family console, or that it's only for kids, that type of a deal. And while maybe a majority of the games on the Switch would be what some would call childish or easy, that doesn't mean those games are only on Switch. But that's bouncing off topic. Let me get back on track. Midnight Suns is not the first game to have been announced that comes alongside the Switch, but closer to release they say it's coming later. And I unfortunately don't believe it to be the last one. Doom Eternal's first early trailers listed the Switch as coming to everything until like a year later the Switch logo disappeared from the release trailer. And also recently, Evil Dead the game was also listed to joining the Switch until the release trailer says otherwise. And funny enough, on the bottom of the Midnight Suns website, right under where they list the consoles, they still have a small definition for the trademark of the Nintendo Switch, even though the logo is not on the website. And from the small research I did, going back to release dates, one game that was set to come to the Switch with its other console siblings was Mortal Kombat 11, but it was released alongside the other consoles here in the US. Meanwhile, Europe had to wait a little over 2 weeks for their Switch version to show up. My main thing with this is that the Switch gets put on the backside time and time again, and it feels like a giant middle finger to those who only have a Switch and have to just sit and wait. And even when a Switch port comes, it's severely lackluster to, say, the PlayStation versions of games. Some examples are like FIFA on the Switch, how it doesn't have a campaign mode. Mortal Kombat 11 doesn't have any character animations when you're selecting a character. And even the fact that a lot of games are only on cloud version, like Kingdom Hearts. The least major support the Switch gets, the more pushback it ends up being, and basically making it a very subpar console compared to the PlayStations and Xboxes. So for this last bit, I'm going to mention that this isn't only game companies who try to get their games on Switch that it feels lackluster. This definitely also falls on Nintendo's part as well. From issues like Joy-Con drift to heat issues from just playing on dock, or even the horrible base amount of storage that it has. The Switch starts off as a very weak console. And while you may have its exclusives like Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Splatoon, Zelda, Kirby, those who want to quickly play a game that can work well on the go or even for handheld mode, if like a sibling or roommate or parent needs the TV for something, then you're good. Lift it off the dock and you can start playing it right there. The prime example I want to use with a game that I feel like works well on the Switch would be Midnight Suns. For those who haven't seen the gameplay trailer, it works similar to a card-based mechanic in that you use cards to attack enemies. It's a grid like XCOM, which I still have not played, but that's you can find the trailers. They're everywhere, and we'll probably get a new one soon. There are people who want games on the Switch, but if developers who make these Switch ports or versions make them so lackluster compared to the other consoles, it hurts the whole general view of the Switch and will turn people off from the Switch. So I think it shouldn't be said to be lackluster for making games on the Switch and then make them extremely subpar compared to other versions of the games. Like if Midnight Suns comes to the Switch and it ends up not being as fun to play on as the PlayStation, for example, it would just suck and hurts my whole view of game companies as a whole. But those are my thoughts, and now this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of this video and your thoughts about the Switch or Switch versions and ports of the games. If you're interested in more random videos regarding gameplay or random talks about music as well, as I like to cover, like and subscribe. Check out my Twitch as well, where I stream games every now and then. I'm trying to make my way to get to affiliate. And a lot of times I post VODs here too. But streams, of course, is a little more of actual live connection. And I'll actually be doing some streams in support of a recent challenge from St. Jude throughout this month. So be sure to check it out. Otherwise, until next time, people, take care.